Hotel after uni students run amok.
Prime, putting local news first.
Hey, look at this.
What is it?
An old lamp, I think.
3,000 years in that. How dull. You know the deal? 3 wishes and all that?
3, huh? All right. I want a packet of Tim Tams that never runs out.
You have 2 wishes left.
Then we'll have 2 more of those.
Arnott's Tim Tam. What more could you want?
How long will your new Hardy Ducks water heater last? Well, long enough for an old dog to learn new tricks. Hardy Ducks water heaters, designed to last.
World-class boxing returns to the Newcastle Entertainment Centre. Action aplenty with an unprecedented 4 Australian titles on the line. The top fighters in the country shape up in an explosive night of boxing action featuring future world title contender Justin Rousel and rising star Gianni Rivera. If you like the Coliseum, you'll love the Entertainment Centre as the leather flies in a real slugfest Friday, August 5. Tickets on sale now at the Centre. Phone charge on 212121 and at all Ticketek outlets.
This is Prime Television, your local station.
Nick, you can come inside and help too, mate. You right, Sarah?
Sean, I've left the keys with Mum, okay?
You sure that's all right?
Yeah, it'll be fine. She'll feed the cat as well. Well, look, if you see Nick's Fentanyl.
You can take.
Sean, don't forget your coleslaw.
Got him!
Mim, did you bring Spotto?
Yeah, got it, Mum.
Right, off we go.
Dad, you need to go to the toilet.
How would I describe my family? Oh, I'd say that they're a bit like myself, really handsome, good-looking, you know, full of personality, intelligent. No, I'd say that we've all got dimples in our chins. We're above average height and intelligence. No, and above average appetites, I think.
Very loyal. Let someone tell us that we're not loyal or whatever, and I think they're going to find an amends.
And the kids have always brought someone home. You don't ring up and ask whether you bring someone home, you just bring them home and they land. I think those are the kind of things that we've always done. And part of a big family is that you're never quite sure how many you're going to have.
I loved his father very much, but it turned out to be a very difficult situation for one reason or another, and so I decided that I would, for my own sanity and dignity, I'd leave. And so it was a big move with a 5-month-old baby.
I always felt a very important person. I don't know why, even when I was a little kid. I thought I was something special. And probably I'm not, but that's the way I felt.
It certainly had its ups and downs, and I think it's a situation where you really have to adapt and you really have to be prepared to change and perhaps sometimes put aside your own feelings and consider the children more than anything else.
In my opinion, street gangs for young people, particularly young disadvantaged people or homeless young people, are the immediate substitute for a family. Young people seem to have this intuitive knowledge that they need a family that is supportive of them.
Parents. I'll tell you about parents. These 2 entirely sensible people give birth to a child and they turn into psycho cases. I mean, they start muttering gibberish like, is that Daddy Waddy's little coochie gorgeous thing? I tell you what, though, you talk to those babies, parents. It's important to talk to babies because the really good thing about babies is they listen. After that, forget it.
There is no single definition of the family because people define their own families and they define them for different purposes.
Most children still live with mum, dad and brothers and sisters. But of course, we have large numbers of single-parent families, step families. We've got groups of people living together who describe themselves as a family. All of them have responsibilities. All of them care for one another, and that's really the important thing about family than some mythical average.
Back in 1835, my great-great-grandfather came to this country, and he received the very first circus licence issued in the colonies of Australia in 1847. And my family has been associated with circuses ever since then. That's about 146 years. So that's a long time for one family to be associated with one business. Maynard, and this is 4 generations of my family, the Perry family. My daughter Yasmin, my grandson Warren, son-in-law Warren, little Warren Jr., my son Tony, daughter-in-law Kathy, son Perry, my husband Fred, my granddaughter Kelly, my cousin Jean, and my mother Nellie.
I'm a trapeze artist, and I've been doing that in the ring since I've been 12 years old. And I'm 27 now, and I enjoy it totally. Yeah.
And Yaz also designs most of the costumes we use in the circus as well. You know, she designs and makes a lot of the costumes we use and all that sort of thing. No, I train the elephants and help Dad with the other animals and put up the tents and that sort of thing and supervise all that sort of electrical side of everything and help move the show and that, you know.
And walks the tight wire.
I do that as well, yeah.
And 500 other
bit of a jack of all trades, you know. You got to be in circus life.
This is a very demanding business. It's 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 52 weeks in the year. You don't get much time for holidays. I think the only holidays I've ever had, I went to hospital 3 times to have these 3.
Babies! Let me tell you about babies. When you're pregnant, you think you're welcoming into the house this cuddly little house guest. What a house guest. First of all, they arrive at 2 in the morning. They spend the next 3 months keeping you awake every night. They demand food by yelling at you, and when you do give it to them, you've got to spend half an hour patting them on the back so they can throw it up all over you. Only someone drugged out on hormones would put up with them. What a house guest.
You can get woken up at 1 o'clock in the morning because there's a horse loose or something, and you're on the job 24 hours a day, and that's the same with any circus family in Australia.
I think I always put it down to being like the royal family. You have to be born to it. Like, it's very hard for someone that's not been born to it to come in and fit in. It's something you've got to be doing from the time you're very little, and you just sort of accept the fact this is how we do it and everyone else does it that way, so that's okay, you know.
But it's a team effort. They've all got their jobs and everyone does their job pretty well, you know.
I think we're all great friends. I think that's what makes it, because you're living in each other's... All in all, you've got to be. You're living in each other's back pocket every day. It's not as if you've got a neighbour and you've got a fence between you. Your caravans are 3 foot apart every ground you go to, and, you know, you just don't annoy each other. You keep out of each other's way. You know when someone's having a bad day and you steer clear. I think what helps us all stick together is the fact that you've got to love it. When all of it's aside and all the money side, you take all that, you've got to have a love for it. Otherwise you wouldn't be in it like we do.
Then we love each other too. We're a family.
It's like a commune. You're all together, and you know if you get sick, there's someone there to help look after your little girl, or help cook the meals for your husband, or help look after your caravan if you're sick. My mama's had a stroke. She had 2 strokes in the last couple of years, but she was 7-year-old and she came into the circus business, and she was with Worth Circus, and she used to do the flying trapeze here with her 2 brothers. And she was driving her own vehicle up to about 3 years ago, and she had a stroke, and she'd been a little bit paralysed since then, but she's still with us, and she'll be with us forever. And that's what I mean as a family. She's always here. There's no such thing as we say, oh, Mum would have to go into a home. No one would ever dream of that. She's here with us forever.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, children of all ages. My name is Yasmin Perry, and I would like to welcome you all to the Perry Brothers Circus, Australia's oldest and most traditional travelling circus.
When my dad died, we were in North Queensland, and he drove the elephant truck through the day he passed away. And we had to bury him the next morning, and we had to move, and it was very, very hard. You know, it was just something that I don't think we got over for quite a while because he'd always been here. It was very, very hard having to bury him and move on. And
it wasn't just the fact that he had died and sort of we all missed him and that, it was just the fact that everyone had to take over his jobs as well, you know.
Perry had to fill in his shoes, and I remember the first night they went into the ring, he didn't know all the lines, so I suggested he take his hat off and I'd have a paper written in there with all the lead lines on it. And he did, and from then on he's become a very good clown. And he's filled Grandpop's shoes.
No doubt, families are still important to Australians and to people in other countries. People everywhere answer questionnaires on this topic in much the same way. Family is probably the most important aspect of life to Australians, very much associated with satisfaction with life, with happiness, with the meaning of life. One of the highest values, the only thing that people would be prepared to die for. Families are still very important to Australians.
Has a name, it's MacGyver.
Emergency alert. Evacuate area.
MacGyver's loyalty.
I'm saying it looks like Pete was set up.
Confronts ambitious power play amid a nuclear weapons conspiracy. MacGyver, Monday, 7:30 on Prime.
Hi, I'm Ernie Dingo. One of the people committed to ensuring that big birds like that stay in the sky is third-year engineering apprentice Brooke Harrison.
When I was younger, I always wanted to be an air hostess. But then when I was in Year 10 at school, I found myself applying for an engineering apprenticeship. Hopefully when I finish, I'd like to go and get my licences. And that means that I'll be able to sign the aircraft out to say that it's serviceable and it's able to fly. It's a really big responsibility. Being Aboriginal hasn't had anything to do with it at all. It's just how you are in the job and the skill you've got to have for the job and the attitude.
Win the Cold War this winter by donating warm clothing, blankets or money at any St Vincent de Paul Centre. Thank you.
Steve? Right, if you know what again?
It's got to be your turn.
Can't you get it, please?
Don't worry. I've got it.
The great tradition of the Milko continues. Whether it's milk, cheese, cream or juice, you'll know it'll be there when you need it. This winter, get it delivered. Call this number now to contact your local Milko.
Cream?
Mom! Dad!
Oh, come on, you kids have had a jolly good run. You've been allowed to stay up late. Now, don't spoil yourselves.
Claire said a rude word, Mum.
Well, go on then. Get it out of your system. All the rude words you can possibly think of. Poo, wee, botty, farty breath.
Mum said a rude word.
Well, that's different. I'm your mother.
Upper tubber, your face is like a robber.
Look, you kids, if you don't stop messing around, somebody will get hurt and there'll be tears.
I'm Alan Burgess, and this is my wife, Mary, our eldest daughter, Kay, and Suzanne, and our son, Peter, and Amy, and Laurie.
That's my home.
One of the best things about having a big family is to be able to do activities together, go on holidays together and all get together and, you know, have fun. Rather than just having 1 or 2 people, there's always 7 of us.
Plus.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think sharing each other's achievements with each other, we're not all together that often anymore. We're off on a Saturday night to something or other, girls, or whatever. But when we are together, we're sharing what we've done together, and that's nice. It's nice to be able to tell someone about what you've been involved in and what you've achieved. And when one of the kids have had an achievement, we can all share that together, whether it be passing VCE or nursing or whatever.
Having a large family, there's a tremendous bond and unity, and with that comes an enormous amount of love, friendship. At times there's a little bit of disagreement, but basically it's love which holds it together. They might not use the word love, but it is there.
I particularly love Pete. Being the only boy in the family, we have to stick together. Well, recently we went through a very difficult time with the floods in the Shepparton region, and they were more severe than any floods have been in the last 100 years, and caused a lot of heartache for the whole district, and in particular our family.
Neighbours were flooded out, so we had their cows here as well, and a caravan for a month, and our in-laws, when they were flooded, they lived with us for a month, and very disturbing for the family. They coped very well on adverse conditions.
We had 11 people here we had to cook for.
11
people.
11 extra ones, probably.
Yeah, it was scary because we just sort of had to stay inside because it's fairly like we don't want to float down the road or anything. You embarrassed me.
You're priceless, Amy.
That was good,
eh?
That was really good. Well, we have had the occasional fight, I think.
Yeah, but
not too often. No, not specific, maybe growing up things at different times. Yeah, I don't think there's anything we don't talk about, is there, Kay?
No, not really.
There's a few things we have a shot at each other about.
Some things you keep to yourself, but not me.
What are they? Tell us now.
Once your child decides to get married, one of 2 things can happen. Either they come up to you and say, Mum, Dad, we'll take care of everything. Just don't worry about it. You find yourself looking through snow goggles at the North Pole with a couple of huskies for bridesmaids. Or, on the other hand, they come up to you and say, oh, Mum, Dad, we're getting married on Saturday. Here's the guest list of 300 people. Can you take care of it? And you find yourself saying, what's wrong with the North Pole?
No, I wouldn't marry a dairy farmer, but I wouldn't live in the town either. I'd have to have some land and some space.
I think I'm basically the same as Kay. I wouldn't marry a dairy farmer, except I do like the city, but I also like my space, so I have to do a bit of compromising, I think.
I think the kids' views here reflect the fact that their mothers worked awful hard on the farm, and I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Because she's the reason why the farms work, because I'm away from the farm doing a lot of other things at different times.
Although farming is hard and tough, it really is a good life. Early starts, and you really have to be there. And don't stop during the day. There's always something to do. It would be feeding calves or shifting or whatever. Ending late in the day, absolutely exhausted, go to sleep in a chair and have to go to bed to get up early the next morning. It still is a good life. And having the kids around and they all pitch in and help do their little bits, I wouldn't trade it.
Well, the main change in structure is that we no longer have the breadwinner housewife model as absolutely typical. It was typical in the 50s and 60s. We do now have lots of one-parent families. Family size is a bit smaller. Husband and wife both work, and I think that's the crucial change. Both have to juggle work and family responsibilities now, rather than the husband going out to earn an income and the mother doing all of the caring.
An ancient journey. There must have been the rare wild woman of history with independent means who collected her children saying no more and left a man. More usually a man left a wife and children, or a pregnant lover, or a pregnant prostitute, saying survive somehow. Then there were the hundreds of big and small wars that left women in every generation widows with fatherless children, or left them years alone with their children, waiting, or left them pregnant, dishonoured with the seed of enemies or allies. Or husbands just died young. The single mother has always been in the world, surviving somehow on the energy of love, on youthful hope, on the beauty of her children and the mighty momentum of their needs. I think I'll remember this period for the beauty of it. The difficulties go unsaid. I can remember feeling that this situation was, in a practical sense, almost impossible at times. Almost impossible. Too hard for one person, in a practical sense. But in a way, there were times that were so beautifully peaceful and harmonious that I picked up my strength again then. I mean, I am in a very beautiful position. I have caring parents. I have enough money, earning enough money so that I'm not poor. I live, I think, in a wonderful environment for me. So I'm very fortunate. Nothing prepares you for the solitude of the first year, when you're not working and when no one's around, when your family's far away, as they were in my case. That particular kind of feeling of being cut off from your society, which men don't know so much about. Nothing can prepare. Even a woman in a more traditional position, you know, with a husband, feels that loneliness. My mother and my father have been my greatest supports. They wished that my life with Maurice's father had worked out, but but no, they have been remarkable, because my father is 70. And it's very difficult for that generation to adapt all the time to the challenges that their children are putting up. I see my family as a kind of courtly dance. You know, in the Renaissance era, they danced in that. It's a very subtle, finely worked out system of giving and taking that makes these four people survive well. And as odd as it is, a mother, her son, and two aging parents, it seems we muck along very well.
Well, family really is the most important group anybody belongs to. It's the group that teaches children everything. It's the group that really cares. They're not obliged to care, they just do because they love one another, care for one another, feel obliged. And without the family unit, of course, we would have a huge welfare bill. The family is the key welfare unit of society.
Tuesday, a mother afraid of losing her child
I'm desperate.
will place Rosa's marriage in crisis.
She used you.
Her job in jeopardy.
You don't get this, do you?
Her life in shambles.
I'll put it in writing now.
Blue Heelers, 7:30 Tuesday on Prime.
Every 2 seconds, a child dies from war, hunger or poverty. Thousands more suffer terribly. 5-year-old Javira lives in Uganda on Rwanda's border. Both his parents are dead. Javira and his 5 brothers fended for themselves for 4 years. You can help children like these by becoming a World Vision child sponsor. It's difficult to know what it must be like for these little boys. They're so alone. There's no one to hold them or love them. They're so isolated and desperate. Now even their possessions cry out poverty. Please call this number and say you'll become a World Vision child sponsor. You'll receive your child's photo and family details. You can correspond too and really get to know each other. For just $29 a month, you can transform the lives of these children from one of bitter despair to one of hope and optimism. Please, call now.
Oh, dear. Are you lost? Poor soul. Hello, mister. What's your name?
Sarah, get away from there. He doesn't understand you.
That'll be $1.05. $1.05.
Cerebral palsy affects your body. We still have active minds. We can overcome our disability, but only you can help us to be part of the community.
One of Australia's leading vanity unit manufacturers this Saturday, Sunday and Monday is disposing of their factory second and superseded model excess stocks direct to the public. Sorry, no orders, it's floor stocks only. Discontinued models and factory seconds, many with only slight imperfections. Only for 3 days, this Saturday, Sunday and Monday. But no checks, strictly cash or credit cards. It's only at the Marble Effect Vanity Unit Factory.
Toddlers. Toddlers are tyrants in disposable pants. They don't share. Take toys, for instance. It's like saying, Hitler, darling, give Poland back to the nice people, please. They don't share. The only thing they do share is germs. At a certain time in winter, they get a germ, they start manufacturing the nasal equivalent to aeroplane glue, and unless you find them stuck nose down on the carpet, they'll share it with everyone in the neighbourhood.
That's Sandro, my youngest son, and Anthony is 3 years older. That's Monette, my daughter-in-law, which is practically my daughter. That's Adriana, my granddaughter.
We lost Daniel.
Daniel somewhere under the table. That's Silvano, my husband, been married for 39 years. And me, Amaida, I'm the mother.
Everyone has got a specific role. Everyone is involved in the management. Sandro, naturally, he's the like the maître d'hôtel, and also he's the expert in wine, and spirits. You know, he's a fellow who is the buyer. Anthony is the chef, and also he's a chef. Monette is the bookkeeper, pastry cook, and everything.
And mother.
And also she's the mother of the 2 kids, Adriana and Daniel. And I'm just working here, and they keep me off the street.
To me, I wanted to be a grandmother. I want to enjoy my grandchildren. If I have something to say, I say it. Yeah, well, I just... But that's it. My part is behind just to keep... keep a balance for everybody works. If they do something wrong or say something wrong, I don't take sides. I don't want to take sides because to me, if they're happy, I'm happy.
I think in general, not just with Italian families, with most families now in this younger generation, the fathers are having more involvement with the upbringing of their children.
I don't say my husband didn't give me any support, but to him, his role was providing. As a man, he felt very responsible to provide. At the moment, I think even because we were migrants, we start from nothing. But at the moment, the way they do it, the husbands now, they try to be part of the family, help the children. My father never done anything, only played with us, and Silvano done exactly the same because his father done the same.
I had no chance to do anything. I couldn't touch anything at home. I was just getting there and everything was done.
Different times, different life, but things are changing and perhaps it's for the better.
I think without family,
My father has never given up on me. He's never given up on Tony, and he probably never will. Even when I'm 65, I'll still be his little boy, right? And I'll always be, you know, I'll always have him to turn to, and there'll always be that direction for me.
The main thing is we've always got something to fall back on.
Yeah.
We know no matter where we are, you can turn back to the family.
Yeah.
You know, no matter what happens to you, what situation you're in, you've always got that security.
That's
and
right.
you know, that's what I want for my kids too. Keep the tradition going.
All couples need to work on their relationship. All families can be successful if people are prepared to work on it. So, step families can be as successful as biological families if everyone in the step family is prepared to work at it.
Shane and Robert are from my first marriage, and James is from my second marriage, and Remy is from my third marriage to Stefan, and it all sounds very complex, and a lot of people are really phased out by the whole situation, but really it's a very simple, normal family. We all coexist and just get on together.
Can we see Mum?
Well, as a family, we live quite close to the beach, so we generally will go down there from time to time. The kids love the water; they really do. You know, these guys are great swimmers, and Remy, obviously only 13 months, but he already loves the water. Just gets right into it.
I'm the mother of this brood, and it keeps me pretty busy, combining business as well as running the house and looking after the boys, and that's really my role. It's to sort of keep everything all happening together, and that's what I enjoy doing.
Well, I reckon it's pretty good because you get to see my dad sometimes, and I get to go to work with Stefan sometimes as well. It's different, but I enjoy being around Mum and Steph because they're really caring, and they offer support when you need, and they're there when you want to speak to them about something. My big job is to mow the lawns and do the sticks and pick up Gerda's dog poo. You know what I mean? I got a few. Sometimes picking up Gerda's dog poo and sweeping the front porch and all that, but probably my most important job is getting my swimming gear together and my basketball gear together.
When I was on my own and I first separated from Andrew, James was fairly little, and he went through a little bit of a rough time, and it was something that we decided between us that we would give him special time.
I went to this special program at school, and it's called the Rainbows program, and that helped you a bit to understand why your parents broke up or something like that, why they separated, and that helped me a lot.
This is a really special family. I've got to say that if the kids weren't as great as they are, it probably would never have worked. You know, we all became such good friends really quickly that nothing seemed to be too much trouble. Everything seemed to flow on. I think I was a big kid for a while there too, and that's how we all became such good mates. And that there was no sort of friction or anything along those lines. It's a really unusual, special family unit, this particular one. And it works, it really works.
There comes a time in every adolescent's life where they look at their parents and they say, "Please God, let me be adopted. Look at Dad over there. He looks like Arnold Schwarzenegger after Meltdown. And Mum, in her silver boots, she looks like a middle-aged Tinkerbell." So the adolescent goes out shaves his head and puts a ring through his nose to prove to the world that he's not an idiot.
Open Family was formed about 15, 17 years ago. It was formed in response to the growing numbers of young people who were on the street, particularly in St Kilda, who were homeless and they were sleeping in bins and big industrial rubbish dumps.
I feel it is important in some cases for young kids to, you know, have a family. Like, some kids might feel that, you know, I don't need anyone. I got myself. And myself's all I need.
The kids that I have come into contact with my job here, I will know and keep in contact with for the rest of my life. That is part and parcel of what I do. And at various times, I have and I will in the future offer my home when they need it. And they will live with me. And they will be part of my family, both under my roof and not under my roof, yeah? And that's the way it goes. And that's what I consider my sense of family.
Well, Kathy Desmond I find is like a sister. You know, well, it's true, eh? No, I find her like, you know, like a big sister, someone that, you know, sit there and listen and give me good advice.
My hope, I guess, for the kids that we deal with is that they will develop over time a sense of what they would like to provide and to give in a family situation for them, and that what has been a negative experience for them is something which they can change.
If you've got a problem, if you don't talk about it, it gets built up inside, then you end up blasting everyone, you know, like, stuff you, you're a this and that, and, you know, if you express yourself, and it's also works both ways, you express yourself and they listen, and vice versa, but you got to listen and you got to be able to say what's wrong, you know.
A community group like Open Family is very much as valid as a blood family. And in fact, one of the things that I personally believe in and that Open Family advocate is that family does not necessarily have to constitute blood. My blood with any of the kids that I deal with is based on the fact that I'm a human being, because I am an adult in my community. So therefore that makes me responsible for my young, which is the young people who I live in my society with. That is the blood that I believe binds people.
People want from their families primarily a sense of belonging, a place and a people where they feel at home.
An intriguing blend of action and steamy affairs that's made between the lines the one to watch. Now it just gets hotter.
I'm a married man.
Is that not supposed to be happily married man?
A mystery leads Tony to the one woman he cannot resist.
I love you, you are a genius.
A lingering affair he cannot end.
I know about it.
I love you.
And the promises he cannot keep.
You do realise it's over, don't you?
You should stay here with me.
He doesn't know it yet, but it's all closing in. Between the Lines, 8:30 Tuesday on Prime.
The Hardy Duck's Big Blue electric water heater gives continuous off-peak heating for so long, by the time you need to replace it, you'll be wrapped in the savings. The Hardy Duck's Big Blue water heater, designed to last.
Cobberart's prices drastically reduced. Superb patchwork quilts slashed to just $49 single bed, $79 double or queen size. That's right, $49 single, $79 double or queen. Unbeatable value, but it's only for now at Cobberart.
Chandler's presents Sound Value. Great artists now at a great price. Elton John, Bon Jovi, Eric Clapton, U2, John Mellencamp, Bryan Adams, Jimi Hendrix, Dire Straits, Kiss, Police. Sound Value at Chandler's Music. Hundreds of great artists now at a special low price. Wow.
You're station 2HD with the Beatles and Here Comes the Sun. Didn't the 60s push up some lovely things?
They certainly did, like me. But how about you? Which era were you pushed up in?
A gentleman never reveals his age.
What, Stone Age, Bronze Age, Ice Age? Which was it?
Very funny. You should look this good when you get to my age.
What do you mean when? More like if.
You'll go to your room shortly.
David and Tanya, Newcastle's #1 breakfast on your station 2HD.
The Carona supermarkets bring you super prices that are really something out of the box. STP Supreme Plus, a super price just $11. All water pumps in stock now a super discount 25% off. Top brand disc brake pads at 30% off till Sunday only. The Gabriel standard range of shock absorbers are very super $19.95 each. All mufflers in stock reduced by 20%, but only till Sunday. ISP, the Carona supermarkets, Islington, Cardiff and Maitland.
Go for gold at Retrovision's Gold Medal Sale and you'll score record-breaking savings. Go for gold savings like just $398 for the Akai Remote VCR with on-screen programming and just $1,589 for the remote 68cm TV with stereo sound and built-in teletext.
Go for gold and record-breaking savings on Akai, but
only at Retrovision.
Retrovision, the biggest retailer of electrical appliances.